Okay, now you're ready to write your sloppy copy or your rough draft of your forgiveness essay. So before you get started, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a piece of lined notebook paper. You're going to need your I already filled in, and you're going to need the highlighters and also a mentor essay that we have courtesy of Mrs. Sokolinsky. So let's get started. First, we're going to take our lined paper and we're going to set it up as our sloppy copy and go ahead and write your name at the top. Okay? So now you're going to number your sloppy copy 1 through 26, front and back, to let you know how much space you have to write. "13" on the front. All the way to 26 on the back. Okay, and now you're going to remind yourself that you're going to have 4 paragraphs. And you're going to indent 4 times. Okay, so we have our sloppy copy paper ready to go. But before we start our sloppy copy, you're going to take a look at the mentor essay. So get the mentor essay. You're going to label it mentor essay. And we're going to color this mentor essay up. So first we're going to start with the introduction. Indira Gandhi once said, "Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave." I believe this means that forgiveness is not something we do for other people, but rather we do it for ourselves. Granting mercy to others and ourselves is important because it can help you get past difficult circumstances and it helps you release built-up anger. So let's analyze this introduction. First of all, I want you to see how Mrs. Sokolinsky did something very helpful to you, especially if you're having trouble finding a hook and a glue that lead into your controlling idea. Let's look at this. Her hook, which I'm going to color up pink, says, Indira Gandhi once said, "Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave." So we're going to color that pink, and we're going to label that her hook. Look where she got that from. Forgiveness is a virtue of the brave. She got this straight.
Alfredo Gonzalez, please report to the front office. Alfredo Gonzalez, front office, please.
She got this straight from the paper. So remember, you can use the quote for a hook, especially if you're stuck and don't know what to write. But then look what she did, because these beautifully go together. For her glue sentence, which remember, your glue sentence explains your hook, and it leads into your controlling idea. She said, "I believe this means that forgiveness is not something we do for other people, but rather we do it for ourselves." Look where she got that from. She got this from our think statement. Forgiveness is not something we do for other people, it is something we do for ourselves. This she used as her glue. Okay, so her read statement became her hook, her think statement became her blue, and then let's see if she has her controlling idea. Granting mercy to others and ourselves is important because it can help you get past difficult circumstances and it helps you release built-up anger. Granting mercy to others and ourselves is important because it can help you get past difficult circumstances and it helps you build up anger. So let's look at her reasons. Her reason 1 is getting past difficult circumstances. Her reason 2 is releasing built up anger. So reason 1, reason 2. So we're going to look for body 1 should all be about reason 1. Body 2 should be about reason 2. So let's keep going. She should first have her R. Forgiveness can help you move past tough situations. There's her R. And look, past difficult circumstances, she changed her wording to past tough situations. Are those the same thing? Yes, they are. Next, we should see an example. To prove my point, when I was 16 years old, we got a knock on our front door with the news that my brother had been killed in a drunk driving accident. We're going to use our green highlighter because this is her very specific, very personal example. So for her first body paragraph, she's going to use a personal example to prove her reason that forgiveness can help you move past tough situations. So next, let's look for her details that support her example and prove her reason. So her details should all be about her example. The police explained that my brother and his friend were intoxicated and made a terrible decision to drive home from a party. Falling asleep at the wheel, the driver dozed off and flipped the vehicle. As a result, my brother was killed on impact. Initially, my family felt an overwhelming amount of emotions towards the surviving driver: anger, hate, shock, hurt. As we thought about the decision that was made that horrible night, we came to the realization that it wasn't just the fault of the driver. My brother had made the decision to get in that car too. Moving on from those feelings of hurt was not easy for my family, but forgiveness was the key that opened the door to healing. So she has some very distinct, very emotional, and very specific details.
Myla Antonio, please report to the front office. Myla Antonio, front office, please.
That help bring her example to life. And you feel what she's feeling. It's shocking and it's sad because her details are so emotional. And that's what you want. You want your essay to make people feel something. So she has more than 3 details, and is that okay? Of course that's okay. You just have to have at least 3 details. So these are all of her details. They're all very specific. She uses imagery. She uses figurative language and uses great vocabulary. That is what you want. And lastly, moving on from those feelings of hurt was not easy for my family, but forgiveness was the key that opened the door to healing. So these are all her adding details, and here is her link it back sentence. Okay, so next we should have a transition. So let's see. Not only will forgiveness help you get past difficult circumstances, it will also aid you in letting go of negative emotions that can tear you apart. So now we're moving on to reason 2. Take a young boy, Peter, as an example from the novel Touching Spirit Bear. So here's her example, her second very specific example, and this one comes from literature. So here's her transition. Here's her example that comes specifically from literature because we've read Touching Spirit Bear. Now, all of her details should be about Touching Spirit Bear and how we were letting go of negative emotions that can tear you apart. So let's see. Peter was an innocent victim of a crime committed by a delinquent teenager named Cole, who severely injured Peter to the point of near death. Cole received the consequences of being exiled to an island in Alaska while Peter was dealing with the recovery of the incident. Peter became severely depressed and attempted suicide several times, believing that he did not deserve to be alive. Peter was sent to an island to live with his enemy, Cole, so he could work towards healing. But it was only when Peter made the decision to forgive Cole for his heinous actions that he was able to start healing. Forgiving Cole was crucial for Peter, as he was able to let go of the anger that was tearing him apart. So, all of her details are specific details about Peter, and it only talked about how the emotional things that Peter was holding inside that was causing him pain. It led him to attempting suicide, depression. Those are all the details that support her example and prove her reason. So here we have all of her very specific details that add imagery. There's excellent language, excellent vocabulary, and we can see pictures and feel emotions. Lastly, forgiving Cole was crucial for Peter, as he was able to let go of the anger that was tearing him apart. And there's her link it back sentence. So now we should have a conclusion. In our conclusion, we always want to restate our controlling idea in a new way, and then we want to somehow bring it back to our hook. Whether you are facing a difficult circumstance or bottling up negative emotions, the only way one can begin healing is by forgiving. There's where she restated her controlling idea. This whether word is a great way to start your conclusion. So remember the words of Gandhi: forgiveness is a virtue of the brave. Next time you are faced with the decision to forgive. And there's where she brought it back to her hook. Okay? So this essay has all the elements required for an essay. Your 4 paragraphs, the indentions, and all of the elements of your intro, your reel, your teal, and your conclusion. So remember, if you want a 4, you're going to use your voices. You're going to use excellent vocabulary. You're going to organize your writing into 4 paragraphs. You're going to use imagery and figurative language. You're going to have a clear, controlling idea with 2 reasons to develop into 2 body paragraphs. You're going to use examples that are specific from history, entertainment, literature, or personal. And you're going to use sophisticated sentences. That means you're using IC, DC, comma, IC. You can use IC, semicolon, conjunctive adverb, comma, IC. You can use interrupters. You can use beginning elements, introductory elements, and concluding elements, which are extra information at the beginning of a sentence or at the end of the sentence. But remember, all of the elements of voices will get you a 4.
Nathan, Loha, report to the front office. Nathan, Loha, report to the front office.
Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your I, which has already been filled out, and you're going to take your sloppy copy paper, and you are going to write your intro, body 1, body 2, and your conclusion on only using the lines that you're going to write on. And when you finish your sloppy copy, you're going to color it up according to real teal, like we did on the mentor essay. and then you're going to get approval by your teacher when you finish it.